Alrighty, hello, good evening. Welcome back to the Law Entrance YouTube channel and to another session of the Hindu analysis. Today is 15th of May, Friday evening, and we are live. I accidentally went on a different stream. वहीं पे था, मैं 2 मिनट वेट कर रहा था, मैं देख रहा था चैट बॉक्स में कोई आ नहीं रहा, कोई एक्टिविटी नहीं है. Then it hit me that I was on a wrong stream. Next session की stream पे चला गया था मैं, AILET वाले session की. Anyway, happens sometimes when I'm sleep deprived. Anyway, good to see you guys here. Shrishti is here, Haru is here, Maika is here, Vrinda is here, Shri is here, Swara is here. No, Swara, Menti is gonna happen on Monday. We discussed it. Arya is here, Radha is here, Ridhima is here, Vishnu is here, Saranya, Charmi, Adrija. Very good evening, guys. Welcome to another stream, another session. कैसे हैं सब लोग? क्या हाल चाल है आप लोगों के? हाय अनग. ओके, चलो ठीक है. तो आज हमारे पास क्या क्या डिस्कस करने को. लेट्स लुक एट द एजेंडा. आज का न्यूज़पेपर उतना ज़्यादा स्पाइसी नहीं है, आई वुड से, बट वी गॉट टू डू व्हाट वी गॉट टू डू. सो 3 आर्टिकल्स हैं आज. वन इज रिगार्डिंग द टू स्टेट थ्योरी विच वाज डिस्कस्ड एट द ब्रिक्स फॉरेन मिनिस्टर्स मीटिंग. देन वी हैव एन आर्टिकल ऑन फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शंस. And then we have an editorial on the cooling doctrine, the rising heat, temperatures, etc. 2-3 और editorials हैं जो हम करेंगे न्यूज़पेपर पे ही डिस्कस. 2-3 और articles हैं जो हम करेंगे न्यूज़पेपर पे ही डिस्कस. And we have 3 new vocab words of the day, like always. And after the session, we have a special strategy session for you guys, which is on planning your next 7 months for AILET. I'll be taking the session. So we'll transition right from this session to the other one. And I hope most of you join, all of you join rather, and even bring more people to join if that's possible. क्योंकि आज हम काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें डिस्कस करने वाले हैं in that strategy session. We are going to discuss your roadmap for AILET, your strategy for AILET, what should be done differently or in addition to your CLAT preparation, and most importantly, how to do mock analysis, because that is one thing which a lot of you were requesting me to address, and some of you have also written mails to me. I read those mails. Mostly the crux was that score is stuck or analysis is stuck. So we'll address that as well in detail in today's discussion. So hold till the end, stay till the end, and do join that session after this particular session. And on that note, I think we should begin. Animal fun fact of the day. Okay, this is gonna be a tradition. I like it. It's a welcoming. I would be more than happy welcoming this tradition. So yeah, what is the fun fact of the day? Sea otters also have a favorite hobby: juggling with stones around water bodies, and they have favorite stones that they store in body pouches. Oh, that's interesting. Also cute fact. Advait is here. Good evening. Advika is here. Good evening. Very good evening, guys. चलो start करें आज की बातचीत. Am I clearly audible and visible? जल्दी से confirmation दे दो मुझे. And then we go to the newspaper. Quick yes in the chat if I'm audible, visible with the PPT, everything good to go. Are we ready? Yes in the chat, please. Alrighty. Let's go to the newspaper. Vrinda, are you the same Vrinda you used to come to our streams, or are you a new Vrinda? Because I'm seeing you after a while now. I'm not able to recall whether you are the previous Vrinda or you are a new Vrinda. So are you new to the session or have you been here before is what I'm asking. But yeah, most welcome. In either case, whether you are new or you are old, I don't discriminate. सबका खुले दिल से स्वागत है आज के सेशन में. चलो सेम. हाँ, मुझे लगा ही. I got it. I hope your exams went well. सब बढ़िया रहो. चलो ठीक है. I hope the newspaper is visible. 15th of May, Friday. जुम्मे का है आज दिन. हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर से करते हैं शुरुआत. Unseasonal storms leave 111 dead in UP. Those are very rare days when newspapers start with something positive. Today is not one of them. So yeah, as the title says, a lot of people have been killed because of these deadly storms, because of rain, thunderstorms, things falling, and a lot of people have been injured as well. A lot of livestock has been lost, damage to a lot of houses, and Yogi ji has directed officials to aid these victims. अनसीजनल रेन्स, क्योंकि इस मौसम में मतलब इस मंथ में यूजुअली आपको रेनफॉल देखने को नहीं मिलती है. यूजुअली सी रेनफॉल कमिंग इन जुलाई, लेट जुलाई. But yeah, the El Nino effect and disturbances, western disturbances, all of these things are causing this havoc. This snippet is interestingly from my hometown, I guess. No, this is Prayagraj. But yeah, there was also a video from Bareilly which was circulating. यहाँ पे लिखा भी है शायद. Video of an extreme weather event circulated in social media showed a man being hurled into air in Bareilly district during strong winds. So my hometown is in the news on the front page, but not for the best reasons. This man was hiding under a tin shed under strong winds, and the storm came and it tore off the shed and just threw both the shed and the man into the air, like the man was just some piece of popcorn. The man survived with some injuries, but yeah, that was quite what do you say, bewildering is the right word maybe. So yeah, now they are doing these relief operations and providing aid to all these people. That is what is happening. On the right hand side, finally, after a long wait, Kerala finally has its chief minister, and this is Mr. V.D. Satishan. And he's a senior Congress leader, has been chosen the next chief minister of Kerala. And this announcement comes almost 10 days after Congress won the state assembly elections. And he was selected as the leader of the Congress legislature party. He met the governor and formally claimed the right to form the new government. And he said that his government would work to improve people's living standards, fulfill promises made during elections, build a new Kerala, blah, blah, blah. Basically what politicians do whenever they come to power. ठीक है. सो बाकी तो इसमें और क्या जानने की ज़रूरत है आपको. सेंट्रल स्टेडियम है तिरुवनंतपुरम में, जो कैपिटल है केरला की. वहाँ पे इनकी स्वेरिंग इन ओथ टेकिंग सेरेमनी होगी. एंड बाकी एमएलएस की स्वेरिंग इन सेरेमनी 21 मई को होगी. दैट्स प्रीटी मच इट. और ज़्यादा इसमें कुछ है नहीं. ऑलराइट, ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं हम लोग. लेट्स मूव अहेड. Uneasy truce in Beijing as Trump and Xi Jinping discuss trade ties and Taiwan. So Mr. Orange here is in China these days, and there seems to be discussions on trade, Taiwan, and overall relationship between the two countries. And during the meeting, Xi Jinping said that the relationship between US and China could become very dangerous if the Taiwan issue is not handled carefully. And he said that Taiwan is currently the most important issue in US-China relationship. He said that if Taiwan issue is managed properly, relationship can remain stable. If not, this could lead to clashes and conflicts between the two countries. Taiwan की बात करें तो Taiwan, as of now, is a self-governed island, but China considers it a part of its territory. But this is quite opposite to how Tibet works. उसमें उल्टा है. उसमें Tibet is a territory which is administered by China, controlled by China, but Taiwan is still self-governing. काफ़ी सारी countries हैं जो ताइवान को as a separate country recognize नहीं करती है. US is one of them. It does not recognize Taiwan as an independent country, but politically or militarily it still supports Taiwan, and that creates a tension between China and US, and that is what they seek to sort out through this particular meeting. Okay, आगे चलते हैं. Efforts on to release Kuki Naga people held hostage in Manipur, say the ministers. So this is something good to know that they are doing something. State के जो home minister साहब हैं, उन्होंने कहा कि 38 people from the Kuki and Naga communities are being held hostage by different groups, and 4 people were also killed in a separate violence incident in Manipur. And some organizations are claiming that this number of people who have been abducted could be even higher. अब यहाँ पे आर्टिकल में बाकी डिटेल्स वगैरह दी गई हैं of the people who were killed, and the government's response is that they are working with civil society groups and political leaders to secure the release of the hostages. बाकी डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर का भी स्टेटमेंट आया है. His name is Losi Tikho, and he's leading the negotiations to free the abducted people. He described the killing of these church leaders as unprecedented, unusual, shocking, and he said that we're working to establish peace in the state. मणिपुर में काफी टाइम से वी ऑल नो वायलेंस चल ही रहा है. कुकीज, नागाज, नीतीज ग्रुप्स, all of these are at loggerheads with each other, clashing with each other. Multiple reasons: territorial disputes, political representation, mistrust among communities, and security concerns, of course. So ये सारी चीजें coming together is destabilizing Manipur for a while now. Okay, let's move ahead. What else do we have on the newspaper? State-based news. Satishan holds out an olive branch to other contenders. So olive branch मतलब दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाना, peace का हाथ बढ़ाना. That is what it means. AIDMK factions move Tamil Nadu speaker, claiming legitimacy. Vande Mataram singing in all state-run schools to happen during assembly. Okay. Says West Bengal government. Ensure safe return of people displaced by post-election violence, says High Court to Bengal government. First, Nikah Halala case filed under UCC in Uttarakhand. As we all know, Uttarakhand has the Uniform Civil Code, which came into force last year, became the first state to implement it. And this is the first time police has used the provisions under UCC regarding a case of Nikah Halala. This is essentially a practice followed in some interpretations of Muslim law, where if a divorced couple wants to remarry after a certain type of divorces, the woman is traditionally required to marry another man first and have that marriage end and then remarry the former husband. I don't know the rationale behind it, but this practice has been quite controversial in India, and people usually call it exploitative and harmful to women. And the people who support this practice are saying that this is religion, tradition, custom, etc. etc. तो यही एक FIR फाइल हुई भगवानपुर पुलिस स्टेशन में. Look at the irony. The name of the police station is Bhagwanpur. And this complaint was filed by a Muslim woman called Shabana, who accused her husband and in-laws of dowry harassment, cruelty, and multiple other offenses. And police ne fir charge sheet file kari and they named the accused. And then they applied the Dowry Act in this, the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act, the BNS, of course, Bharatiya Nyaya Sahayata. And during investigation, police said that they also had evidence of supporting adding some sections from the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. And therefore, it is being seen as a landmark case because this is the first known use of Uttarakhand's UCC provisions in a Nikah Halala matter. Uniform Civil Code का concept आपको पता ही है, to create common civil laws for all citizens regardless of religion, especially in domains like marriage, divorce, inheritance, family matters, personal law matters. And UCC aims to promote equality in all of these domains. So yeah, that's what is happening. What is chat saying? Iron Mentees on Monday. Today we have a strategy session on AILET, which is equally important. I would say more important than the Menti Monday ko karenge. Elections as such would be niche topic for CLAT. You could say so, but I would suggest that you definitely touch upon relevant constitutional provisions and provisions related to the governor, provisions related to president's rule, provisions related to just union and state working together, all of those relevant constitutional provisions and the highlights of the elections, of course. Okay. What is the ideal percentile to get in mocks at this stage? I would say first target should be 80%, second 90%, and then of course the higher the better. So if you are anywhere below 75%, you need to really buckle up and put in some more hard work. If you are above 75, you know the targets: 80, 85, 90, 95. That is how you go. Good evening, Bhagwat. Good evening, Shaurya. Welcome to the stream. Last 30 minutes of AILET, I feel slumberous. I mean sleepy, fancy. Please, some advice on it. Okay, we'll discuss it during the strategy session. Just remind me if I forget. Okay? Will not allow new faith-based practices. Karnataka CM Siddharamaiah. All right. MP BJP leader loses post over large convoy despite austerity appeal. Okay. That sounds nice. All right. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. Let's move ahead. Government staff to work from home twice a week as Delhi unveils austerity plan. Austerity plan वही है जो मोदी जी ने कहा कि जो जो चीज़ें नहीं करनी है, गोल्ड नहीं खरीदना है, ज़्यादा घूमी घूमी नहीं करनी है, फॉरेन नहीं जाना है घूमी घूमी करने, फिर वर्क फ्रॉम होम करना है, कर सकते हो, तो ये सारी चीज़ें. This drive includes staggered office timings, ban on official foreign visits for 1 year. Government will not purchase new petrol, diesel, CNG or hybrid vehicles for 6 months. Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs pitches for prudent mobility. Prudent means wise, samajhdar. Mobility means going from one place to other. They launched an initiative called Metro Monday, जहाँ पे ministers और senior officials Monday के दिन metro से travel करेंगे. Wow. Baki, they also appealed citizens to observe a no vehicle day every week by voluntarily avoiding the use of private vehicles. Interesting. मेरा भारत मेरा योगदान करके इन्होंने कैंपेन बनाया 90 days का. मेरा भारत मेरा योगदान. Interesting. Okay, so that's what's going on. Shit is hitting the roof, it seems, and government seems to be panicking a little bit, not too much. थोड़ा panic दिख रहा है, and ये panic बढ़ता जाएगा if the crisis in West Asia does not get resolved in the next couple of weeks. You would see more such measures being adopted on a much larger scale. So be ready for work from home online classes. It might be coming sooner than you expect. I don't know if that makes you happy or sad, but that seems to be the reality. Aam Aadmi Party and Congress raised questions over timing of SIR ahead of 2027 Punjab polls. Halt move to appoint principal. DU directs St. Stephen's College. Okay. ठीक है. Delhi cyclist who journey between life and death. Alrighty. Okay, we're down to the editorial section. What is chat box saying? Good evening, Arshita. Arshita saying I'm getting technical issues to send mail. ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए. Are you entering the right email address? Maybe that is the issue. एक बार मुझे बता दो, what is the email you are using to communicate? Elections के time panic नहीं दिख रहा था. That's true. School is never gonna reopen at this point. See, worst situation is very bad if sir begins to start swearing. Oh my god, did I swear? Wow, that must have slipped out unintentionally. Cut कर देंगे उसको stream पे, वो करने से पहले, वीडियो पे डालने से पहले. ठीक है, टाइम स्टैम्प क्या चल रहा है इस टाइम? 24. कोई बात नहीं, ऐसे कोई ज़्यादा खतरनाक स्वेरिंग तो नहीं करी, इतना तो चलता है. आप तो अपने ही लोग हो, तब तो कोई शॉर्टेज नहीं है. ओ माय गॉड, फॉर रियल एक्शन के टाइम तो कोई शॉर्टेज ही नहीं थी. स्कूल खुलते ही कुछ और आ जाता है. ऐसे ही है दोस्तों. दिस इज हाउ दिस कंट्री is operating according to the whims and fancies of the ones in power. So the only solution is you also get into power. या फिर leave the country, be anti-national, go to Pakistan. Okay, cool. Editorial की बात कर लेते हैं. किसी दिन बैन करवाऊंगा मैं ये स्ट्रीम अपनी बातों से. हाँ, so the पहला editorial says the Iran war, India's strategic autonomy challenges, and we have discussed this ad infinitum, ad nauseum, and यहाँ पे वही सारी बातें हैं जो हम already बहुत बार कर चुके हैं. Foreign policy, Iran, Israel, US, challenge for India's foreign policy, global affairs, strategic autonomy, good relations with countries, we are dependent on them. India has had balanced relations for so many years, and that is not helping now. We need to protect energy, we need to protect our crude resources, maintain military flexibility, avoid being trapped in alliances, and this Iran conflict is a generational challenge for us. That is what the author says. They say that how India depends heavily on the West for all of these things. and a weak and isolated Iran could hurt India's interest in terms of energy security, in terms of access to the Chabahar port, and of course US is also adding some pressure. Donald Trump is using tariffs as an arm twisting measure. He's putting economic pressure, strategic demands, and now they're asking countries to align their economic policies with the strategic interest of America. And therefore India is facing pressure to reduce its imports not just from Iran but also from Russia, limit ties with Iran, avoid the whole concept of de-dollarization, which is propping up in the BRICS grouping, and support the geopolitical goals of US, which is making policy making quite hard for us. And पहले जो है हम काफ़ी क्लोजली ट्रेड कर रहे थे यूएस के साथ भी, एंड वी हैड स्ट्रॉन्ग टाइज विद रशिया एंड चाइना भी. चाइना नॉट सो मच बट रशिया के साथ तो थे ही. एंड रिसेंटली कुछ साल पहले इंडिया का लार्जेस्ट ट्रेडिंग पार्टनर बन गया था यूएस, एंड उस टाइम चाइना के साथ भी हमारी बातचीत सही चल रही थी. बट अब जो है दोनों के साथ ही हमारी बातचीत कुछ खास नहीं चल रही है. They also talk about the Rafale fighter jet deal कि इंडिया 114 Dassault Rafale fighter jets लेने वाला है फ्रांस से, एंड हमने फ्रांस को चूज किया बिकॉज ऑफ बेटर टेक ट्रांसफर, डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन के लिए सपोर्ट एंड मोर इंडिपेंडेंस देन बाइंग फ्रॉम ईदर यूएस और रशिया. सो that also furthers our goal of balancing our diplomacy. Then they talk about the free trade agreement which we are planning with European Union, on how both sides wanted protection from Trump's economic policies, but India is still facing opposition domestically from farmers, industrial workers, and Europe could use these trade ties to gain some leverage over India because it's still not supporting India entirely in geopolitical scenarios. Therefore, India cannot fully rely on Europe as well to protect our interests. They also refer to Marco Rubio's recent speech where he talked about a united Western economic and strategic system. And this article says that this basically means the West wants more tighter internal cooperation, and they want countries to not align together. Taki, of course, US can be a dominant force. That's pretty much what the article tells us. यहाँ पे नया नहीं है. These are all the things which we have already discussed time and again. Our school is yet to take that action. Pretty sure it will be starting next week. It hasn't happened, but I'm pretty sure. Is Manthan necessary or is the Hindu and Indian Express enough? I would say Manthan is necessary. There are a lot of things which Hindu or Indian Express does not cover, but are relevant from competitive POV. So yes, to the Manthan as well. Vishami Singh, हमारे यहाँ तो nobody is bothered. They are going on as usual. That's good. Make hay while the sun shines. How do I cover the GK backlog of January and February? ठीक है, ask me that question in the strategy session, which we'll do just after this session. I'll explain. ठीक है? I mean, when do our people follow guidelines anyway? Fair enough. Okay, left hand side, what do we see? Bursting at the seams. Side से फट रहा है. क्या फट रहा है? हमारा system. Inflation is increasing and it's not transient but systemic. कल भी हम बात कर रहे थे retail inflation, consumer inflation is at an all-time high, but it looks under control, which is even more scary. Wholesale inflation is also rising substantially, and this difference is what creates chaos. Now, we all know that there are two types of ways to measure inflation, CPI and WPI. I've told you before, consumer price index and the wholesale price index. Consumer price index measures the prices which is paid by people like you and me, ordinary people, mango people, Aam Aadmi. Prices of food, prices of fuel, prices of transport, prices of daily use goods, etc. On the other hand, wholesale price index measures the price businesses or producers pay before the products reach the consumers. And when this WPI rises faster than CPI, it usually means that businesses are absorbing these higher costs, जैसे आपको petrol companies के केस में देखने को मिल रहा है. And eventually these cost is going to get passed on to consumers. तो अभी rising price है consumers के लिए, but WPI और ज़्यादा high है. मतलब what you can predict is that this passing of the shock which they are observing is going to soon be seen and being borne by the consumers. यानी कि inflation और ज़्यादा बढ़ने वाला है, आसान भाषा में बोले तो. And of course, the primary cause is the huge rise in energy cost. Fuel and power prices have increased. Petroleum and natural gas prices have increased for the industrial sector. And of course, the vegetation crisis is the cause behind it, the deeper cause. And the petrol and diesel prices may even increase for consumers very soon. Kal hum dekh rahe the, our petroleum minister was saying something similar because oil companies are suffering heavy losses, 30,000 crore per month, 1,000 crore per day. And this, of course, percolates and, you know, extends to everything because fuel affects a lot of things. It affects transportation, it affects food delivery, it affects farming, it affects manufacturing, it affects restaurants, it affects cost of generating electricity. Basically, जब fuel prices बढ़ते हैं सब कुछ expensive हो जाता है. ठीक है. एंड एलपीजी सिलेंडर्स के प्राइसेस कमर्शियल सिलेंडर्स के रिसेंटली काफ़ी बढ़ा ही दिए गए हैं. गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग कि भाई खर्चा कम करो, avoid extravagant wedding spending, reduce foreign travel, avoid buying too much gold and silver. Gold and silver पे import duties भी बढ़ा दी गई हैं, डबल कर दी गई हैं rather. And yeah, the pressure is now on you and me to protect our country from the shackles of economic chaos. तो दोस्तों, मोदी जी ने कहा है कि देख लो अपना अपना हिसाब किताब. सरकार से तो ज्यादा कुछ नहीं हो पा रहा है. रुपीज ऑफ कोर्स वीकनिंग कॉन्स्टेंटली. काफी दिनों से रुपीज स्लाइडिंग अगेंस्ट द डॉलर एंड 95 तो क्रॉस कर ही चुके हैं हम. दिस फॉल ऑल्सो makes imports more expensive because you have to pay more money for $1, and payments internationally, be it for crude oil, be it for gold, these are made in dollars. तो हमारे इंपोर्ट्स जो है महंगे हो रहे हैं. अब आरबीआई जो है कुछ ना कुछ एक्शन लेगा, इंटरेस्ट रेट्स को इंक्रीज करेगा, रेपो रेट्स वगैरह में चेंजेस करेगा, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी को टाइटन करेगा ताकि इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल में आ पाए. तो आर्टिकल यही कह रहा है एसेंशियली कि टेम्पररी इन्फ्लेशन जो हो रहा है वो ऑयल प्राइसेस की वजह से हो रहा है, बट वी हैव अ ब्रॉडर सिस्टेमिक इन्फ्लेशन विच इज ब्रूइंग and would hit the markets super soon. So, wow, lovely. Building a preventive health culture in India. तो ये अपोलो हॉस्पिटल के चेयरमैन साहब हैं, रेड्डी साहब, एंड ये कह रहे हैं country's economic and social progress depends on how healthy and long citizens live. He talks about how India has become very good at treating diseases, but we are not good enough at preventing them, which make sense of it, whatever you may. He says that India's health system is focusing more on curing illness after people get sick instead of helping people stay healthy or fit in the first place, and that reflects in our lifestyle choices as well. We have made a lot of progress in healthcare, from hospitals, medical institutions, highly skilled doctors, even people coming to our country for medical tourism. These are major achievements for sure, but article says that true health is not just about having nice hospitals and treatment, it is about preventing the disease before it starts. And that is what we should prioritize: prevention through daily habits, through long-term care, healthy eating, exercise, regular checkups, protein intake, monitoring health risks. और ये इंडियन लोग तो नहीं करते, हम लोग तो नहीं करते. At least what I see around me, people don't believe a lot in all these things: healthy eating, exercise. At least the older generation. Younger generation is still getting quite health conscious. My generation is as well. And this is one trend which I'm liking. काफी ज़्यादा social media and all पे fitness is now becoming a trendy thing, which I think is a good trend for sure, rather than trending cringe reels and stupid trends. So yeah, the article basically argues that how we need a culture of prevention and self-care because non-communicable diseases are rising rapidly in our country. Heart attacks, strokes, cancer, diabetes, all of these are non-communicable diseases. Yani ki they cannot spread from one person to another, but these are more of lifestyle diseases. And इससे ज़्यादा लोगों की जान जा रही है as compared to infectious communicable diseases. And then they give you some numbers and how this also has a very significant economic impact on the country. We lose productivity, we lose financial stability, we lose people who have the ability to support their families, and उससे overall national development पे भी impact आता है. The critical health window which he highlights is the age of 30 to 40, where there is the highest risk of diabetes, obesity, heart disease, blood pressure problems, and yeah, that is because people are primarily busy in building their careers, supporting their families, so they ignore their health in the process. And don't do that, is what I would advise. Baki says that early detection say, lot of things can be sorted. So health checkups वगैरह कराते रहने चाहिए. And prevention should be the overall priority when it comes to health. Okay, what is chat saying? Side से फट रहा है. Okay, I'll be more careful. We had booked tickets for international travel before he said that, and now it's way too expensive to cancel. अरे तो जाओ बिंदास. Enjoy. Forget whatever stress you have. These are moments of family bonding. You should not miss it. Good evening, Anirudh. Long time no see. Kya hal chal? Charmi is saying, do you think this situation weirdly helps our country by making us naturally lean towards electric vehicles because it's better for the environment? Um, yes and no. I'm not very bullish on EVs as of now because couple of reasons. First is we do not have the adequate infrastructure to ensure that there is no range anxiety among people. Range anxiety is basically people not buying EVs thinking कि भाई रास्ते में खत्म हो जाएगा चार्जिंग हमारी. So that is one thing, range anxiety, which we need to work on by building more EV infrastructure before we are ready for an EV boom in our country. Second thing is that as of now, primarily our electricity is generated through thermal power plants, है ना? And thermal power plants use coal to generate electricity. So you are using coal, which is a non-renewable resource, to generate electricity and also a lot of heat and pollution, and using that electricity to power EVs instead of using petrol, diesel, whatever. So that makes the whole process a little counterintuitive. So, of course, it takes time to shift towards renewable energy production, and we are moving towards that. But currently, उतना ज़्यादा ड्रास्टिक बेनिफिट हमें नहीं मिल रहा है ईवीज यूज करने का, बिकॉज ईवी चार्ज तो बिजली से हो रही है और बिजली बन रही है कोल से. सो पेट्रोल बर्न करने की जगह हम कोल बर्न कर रहे हैं. वन एंड द सेम थिंग. फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स पर्सपेक्टिव से डेफिनेटली इट हेल्प्स, बट या from an overall environment standpoint, I don't know if the trade-off or the opportunity cost is still worth it. That is another aspect to look at. And the third thing is, as a car enthusiast, as a motor enthusiast, I don't really enjoy driving EVs a lot. Now, of course, I'm all for environment and every way to protect the environment and sustainability. Sure, go for it. You go, gal. But there's no fun in driving EV vehicles at all. But that's just my personal take. ठीक है, तो ये सारी बातें हैं. Ashiket is here, who's back from first semester exams. I hope they went well. Electric vehicles खरीदने के लिए we need money, and if everything becomes too expensive, how will we afford it? That's another concern. अनुरुद्ध भाई, जीके के बैकलॉग्स हैं. ठीक है, बात करते हैं. इसके बाद हमारा स्ट्रैटेजी सेशन है 10 मिनट बाद, तब बात करते हैं. Burger and pizza are good. Yes, they are. No, they're not. True, but that's not an easy shift, especially because of lack of charging stations, cost of EV. Yes, that's precisely what I was saying. Electric vehicles lack that engine sound, which makes it hard to get to know that a EV is approaching. Yeah, they're very silent. Even sitting inside the cabin, you don't get to know whether the car is, on or not. What would be helpful for the transition time period would be a good running system of public transport that is accessible for all. Yes, absolutely. What if we use the solar panel car? I don't think that we have developed a feasible model as of now. Agar hota to you would have seen it running on the roads. उतनी एनर्जी नहीं जनरेट कर पाएगा एक इतना छोटा सा सोलर पैनल की एक कार चल पाए. आई थिंक यू नीड अ मच मच लार्जर सरफेस एरिया टू पावर अ कार. अगर तो सेइंग ईवी में वो मजा नहीं आता है. आई एग्री, आई एम ऑन योर टीम. हाइड्रोजन कार भी अभी सस्टेनेबल फीजिबल तरीके से नहीं बना पाए हैं हम. Government is also pushing coal gasification nowadays. I have heard that's true. Vishami is saying I love all the POVs. Thank you for the same. अच्छा हरू और विषमी को थैंक यू बोल दिया आपने, मेरे को नहीं थैंक यू बोला मेरे पीओवी के लिए. वेरी हर्ट चार्मी, very disappointed. EVs are so quiet, it's amazing in the passenger seat, but feels bland for the drivers. The silent makes the music much clearer. That's one way to look at it. Okay, then big solar panel. Yeah, sure. Okay, आगे चलते हैं. Let's move ahead. What else do we have? I think we've covered most of the relevant articles. जल्दी से देख लेता हूँ कुछ बचा है तो. वंदे मातरम चैलेंज टू मल्टीकल्चरल नेशनलिज्म. इतनी डिबेट हो रही है वंदे मातरम पे. जस्ट बीट्स मी. व्हाई आर वी सो ऑब्सेस्ड विद वंदे मातरम? गाना है नहीं गाना है, एक चीज डिसाइड करके छुट्टी करो. इस पे भी पॉलिटिक्स. नहीं हम गाएंगे, हम नहीं गाएंगे. गा लोगे तो क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा, नहीं गाओगे तो क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा. जस्ट वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम is what some people might think. I think what the ruling government thinks about the Vande Mataram, I'm all in for that. ठीक है. Phase 3 of SIR in 16 states, 3 UTs. So again SIR is beginning. आपका सिलेबस फिर से बढ़ने वाला है. इलेक्शन कमीशन ने अनाउंसमेंट कर दिया है 30th मई से third phase of SIR would start. बढ़िया. Activist questions impartiality of SIR electoral process. Activist is gonna go to jail. वो हाँ वहाँ लिखा नहीं है, but I can predict it. India backs 2-state solution for Palestine issue, said Jaishankar at the BRICS meeting. We'll discuss this on the PPT. नए हाई कमिश्नर बन गए हैं for London, Mr. P. Kumaran. All right. ठीक है. What's the difference between a high commissioner and an ambassador? Are you guys aware? कुछ कंट्रीज में हाई कमिश्नर होते हैं हमारे, कुछ कंट्रीज में हमारे एम्बेसडर होते हैं. What's the difference? NIA files charge sheet against 10 accused in the Red Fort blast case. All right. Free and fair elections की बात करेंगे हम PPT पे. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कुछ इस पे टिप्पणी करी है. 2 more arrested in connection with the NEET paper leak. All right. ठीक है. 1 dead in landslide in West Bengal mines. Many feared trapped. Another unfortunate women-related crime. Delhi not helping its reputation at all. COVID-19 linked to 22.1 million excess deaths globally from 2020 to 2023, says a WHO report. They said that pandemic exposed vulnerabilities in global health systems and was linked to an estimated 22 million excess deaths. इन्होंने ये report publish करी है. They also noted that new HIV infections fell by 40% between 2010 and 24. Tobacco use and alcohol consumption also declined during the period. Okay, that's good. ठीक है. But there are still a lot of challenges. Anemia affects a lot of women as of now. Malaria has increased since 2015. Damn, these mosquitoes. Mosquitoes take the maximum number of lives in the whole animal/insect kingdom. So, yeah. Wholesale price index more than doubles to 8.3% in April, which is not good news. Rises to its highest levels in 3.5 years on the impact of West Asia crisis. On prices in India, experts say that this jump in wholesale prices could soon be passed on to consumers and could also start hurting the profitability of companies if it is not passed on. Discuss that. India back on EU approved list of aquaculture exporters. Government bans sugar exports till 30th of September. Okay. Jaishankar slams unilateral sanctions days before expiry of Russian oil purchase waiver. Here you can see him in the BRICS meeting. And PPT पे है क्या ये वाला article? I think PPT पे नहीं है. चलो बता ही देता हूँ. This is basically us trying to balance our energy needs. प्रेशर आ रहा है यूएस से कि रशियन ऑयल मत खरीदो, एंड इंडिया इज वेटिंग फॉर अ डिसीजन फ्रॉम यूएस ऑन वेदर दे वुड एक्सटेंड द सैंक्शंस का वेवर दैट अलाउज अस टू बाय रशियन ऑयल विदाउट पेनल्टीज। एंड ये वेवर जो है कल एक्सपायर होना है, यानी कि कल के बाद अगर हम रशिया से ऑयल खरीदेंगे तो यूएस हम पे सैंक्शंस लगाएगा, पेनल्टीज लगाएगा। एंड पता चलेगा अभी हमें कल कि यूएस इसको एक्सटेंड करता है या नहीं करता है। तो हमारे मिनिस्टर साहब ने क्रिटिसाइज किया है इन सैंक्शंस को, यूनिलेटरल सैंक्शंस को, सेइंग दैट दीज आर अनफेयर एंड हार्मफुल टू डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज लाइक आर्स एंड प्रेशर कैन नॉट रिप्लेस डिप्लोमेसी। सो ब्रिक्स में तो ऑब्वियसली उनको यही बोलना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज ब्रिक्स इज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन which kind of counters the US hegemony. So that is what he said. What is chat saying? Anu is saying, sir, I'm on your team. Thank you for your POV. Thanks to you the most. Just kidding. I was just messing with you, Charmy. Honestly speaking, your take was very interesting. Many soch pati. Right. I like how you guys hype up each other. I love that. Good save, sir. I know, right? Smooth. Hmm. Why we debate about useless things and not talk about petrol increasing money? Petrol increasing money, as in, what do you mean? एलेट की क्लास भी है, बिल्कुल है, बस 5-10 मिनट में स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. High Commissioners for Commonwealth countries, correct, right? Went 12 but started months ago. Mosquitoes are genuinely annoying. That the environmental consequences of wiping them out is worth it, in my opinion. Interesting take. 3 years LLB के लिए SLS पुणे कैसा है? प्लेसमेंट कॉर्पोरेट में मिलती है क्या अच्छी वहाँ 3 year LLB में? To answer your first question, कैसा है? It is good enough. It is decent. Placements कॉर्पोरेट के लिए मिलती हैं. I'm not very sure of that, but I would assume that if you get good internships throughout your 3 year of LLB, then definitely you have a good chance. But I think the actual campus placements which you are asking, if you want an honest take, then they are slightly lesser as compared to what the 5 year students get. And that is not just for SLS Pune, that is across the board for all colleges which offer 3 year LLB. So placements in corporate are a little iffy, but you would have to work your way around it through internships and projects and publications and whatever you can do to further your profile. So yeah, all the best, go for it. So asking USA for permission, isn't that basically a threat to our sovereignty? In a way, yes, for sure. But again, that is how geopolitics and diplomacy work. Sometimes you exert pressure, sometimes you bear the pressure. So US is in a dominant position. Therefore, they are exploiting that dominance. Festada Cocada, I'm not able to send mail on this. ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए. My mail is pretty alive and kicking. रोज मेल्स आ ही रहे हैं मुझे. एक बार फिर से लिख देता हूँ अपनी ईमेल आईडी. दिस इज द ईमेल आईडी. इस पे भेज दो आप मेल. कढ़ाई पनीर 13244. लव द यूजर नेम. US is a threat to world sovereignty. Yes, the word sovereignty and world sovereignty both. Under this saying, आप तो मेरे भगवान हैं. सीरियसली नहीं भाई, बिल्कुल मैं किसी का भगवान नहीं हूँ. Don't put me on a pedestal like that. I don't like it at all. I'm just a mentor to you guys, and let's keep it that way. ठीक है. Okay, cool. आगे चलते हैं. Air India's $2.79 billion loss drags down Singapore airline profit. ठीक है. और कुछ है अपने पास. UK minister resigns, paving way for potential labor leadership contest. Not important. Russia यूक्रेन की लड़ाई चालू हो गई है फिर से. Lebanon, Israel hold new peace talks. Blackouts, protests break out as Cuba says fuel has run out. तो ये क्यूबा जो है वेनेजुएला पे डिपेंड करता था बहुत ज़्यादा फॉर देयर फ्यूल, बट वेनेजुएला की तो बैंड बजा दी है यूएस ने, तो क्यूबा की एज अ रिजल्ट बैंड बज गई है. बेचारे स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं बहुत ज़्यादा. IPL इज गोइंग ऑन. कल फिर से पंजाब हार गई एंड मुंबई वन इट इन द लास्ट ओवर thanks to Tilak Verma's knock. It was a good match though, but I'm sad. And I was low-key supporting Punjab this season, but 5 consecutive losses is just too much. One more loss, and I would start supporting RCB again. Okay, cool. What else? Do we have anything significant? Sindhu and Lakshya enter Thailand Open quarterfinals. This is badminton. Nice. Indian pugilist under 15 boxing. So boxers तो pugilist भी कह देते हैं. Ravi Vikas combination makes the last 4. This is squash. Kohli and the art of agelessness. कोहली भाई तो बहुत बढ़िया खेल रहे हैं IPL में. क्रेजी कर रखा है एकदम. चलो वापस आ जाते हैं जल्दी अपनी पीपीटी पे और फटाफट इसको खत्म करते हैं द नेक्स्ट 2-3 minutes and then let's go to our strategy session discussion for AILET. Low light is saying apps or what is that language? I don't understand what you are trying to say. Crazy Bella is saying this is my first Hindu analysis. Any topics I have to catch up for the previous month? Previous month में तो बहुत सारे topics हैं. Crazy Bella. Maybe have a look at the Telegram channel. PPT वहाँ पे upload हो जाती है sessions की usually. So वहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो सारी PPTs access कर सकते हो and you can see the topics and whichever feel most recurrent to you as frequently occurring in multiple PPTs. Those are the ones which are usually the more important. Although mostly सारे important रहते हैं जो हम discuss करते हैं, but those are the ones which are more important. Apart from that, do refer to some good monthly magazines like the Manthan or whichever you prefer. So yeah, you have to catch up quite a bit. But I'm glad that you have finally arrived at the Hindu analysis. You are in good hands now. Be consistent. पीसीबी के साथ क्लैट करूं या पहले 12th निकाल लूं फिर क्लैट देखूं क्या करूं? ओके, साथ साथ कर लो. A lot of students do it साथ साथ. You should also do it साथ साथ. Why waste 1 year? So कर लो साथ में. 12th निकालने के बाद क्यों देखोगे? अभी से देखो. If the labor leadership contest goes through, Britain might get a new PM. Yes, yes. Although Keir Starmer is not very keen on leaving his kursi, but let's see. Every time I watch IPL, my team Punjab King loses. That makes the two of us kadai paneer. Typing mistake थी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Good evening, Dhwani. Strategy session just starting in the next 5 minutes. All right, two state theory की हम बात कर रहे हैं. ब्रिक्स मीटिंग में इसका डिस्कशन हुआ. This is with respect to the Israel-Palestine conflict. And our foreign minister presented the national statement at the BRICS ministerial reiterating India's call for two-state solution to the issue and calling for an end to the risk to maritime traffic and disruption to energy infrastructure in Gulf region, supporting the need for dialogue and diplomacy to resolve conflicts in the region in North Africa. Jaishankar sought coordinated diplomatic efforts to deal with the situation in Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, and Libya. The day-long BRICS foreign ministers meeting witnessed several speeches, including one by Abbas Araghchi, Iran's foreign minister, and said that Iran would defend sovereignty while advancing diplomacy, adding that US-Israel attack against Iran will not have any military solution. Two-state solution की बात करें, so this has for decades been the primary focus of efforts to achieve peace in Israeli-Palestine conflict. This will establish an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel, which means two states for two peoples or two group of peoples. In theory, this would win Israel's security and allow it to retain a Jewish demographic majority while granting Palestinians a state. 1947 में UN का जो partition plan था that led to decades of military action and violence between Israel and Palestine. It was only after the mediation of the US in 1991 Madrid Peace Conference a two-state solution was agreed to resolve the conflict. According to UN, only a two-state solution that realizes the legitimate national aspiration of Palestinians and Israelis can lead to sustainable peace. But Israel is not too much in favor of a two-state solution. Next, we have free and fair elections are dependent on a truly independent poll body. They're talking about the Chief Election Commission, and they nudge the union government to address concerns over its dominant role in the appointment of CEC and ECs, observing that free and fair elections depend on independence of EC. The court highlighted the absence of even one absolutely neutral person on the PM-chaired selection committee. If questioned, there is presence of a cabinet minister on the panel, observing that such a minister could not be expected to defy the PM. The court also asked whether the presence of the LOP on the committee was merely ornamental, मतलब दिखावे के लिए, as appointments could be made without a unanimous vote. The court was hearing a batch of petitions challenging the Chief Election Commissioner and other Election Commissioners Act of 2023. इसका पूरा background context मैं already आपको दे चुका हूँ पहले. है ना. Anup Baranwal wala judgment, the petitioners contended that the act defeated the constitutional bench judgment in Anup Baranwal versus Union of India, which made a selection panel which had the PM, leader of opposition, and the Chief Justice. फिर गवर्नमेंट लेके आई 2023 एक्ट विद इन मंथ्स ऑफ द जजमेंट एंड दे रिप्लेस द सीजीआई विद द कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर. तो 2:1 एक तरीके से गवर्नमेंट के पास अथॉरिटी हो गई इन द सिलेक्शन. एंड दे डिस्क्राइब द अनूप बरनवाल जजमेंट एज अ क्लासिक एग्जांपल ऑफ indicated that the 2023 Act handed the power to executive to call the shots in appointment of the CEC and the ECs. Mr. Venkat Ramani argued that court could not become a second chamber of the parliament. The petitioners, he said, cannot expect parliament to enact laws blindly in consonance with Supreme Court judgments. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Cooling doctrine की बात करें, India's response to extreme heat has settled into familiar choreography. Summer comes and the NDMA regurgitates its tally of rising preparedness. Regurgitates का मतलब होता है वही चीज दोहरा देना. Let's put it that way. Although it has a little ugly connotation to it कि मतलब you know वॉमिट कर देना एक तरीके से वही सारी चीजें. The 16th Finance Commission has gone further, recommending that heat waves be notified as a national disaster. A designation that would unbolt the door to dedicated central funding, but the heat action plan as currently conceived has reached the limits of what it can do. Even NDMA concedes that quality of these plans is uneven. Several are imitations of plan drafted elsewhere where implementation happens at all. It leans heavily on short-term palliatives such as water kiosks, public advisories, and shaded waiting areas at bus stops. These measures save lives at margin but do not alter the underlying exposure of tens of millions of Indians who work, commute, and sleep in conditions that are becoming, in most clinical sense of the word, biologically untenable. What India needs is something larger and more ambitious, a national cooling doctrine, a scalable framework that treats sustained access to safe indoor temperatures as a public health entitlement to be guaranteed. This must begin from where the harm is most acute, which means mandatory minimum cooling standards for indoor workplaces, factories, warehouses, commercial kitchens, call centers, delivery hubs, backed by an honest and fair inspection regime. Technology will have to do the heavy lifting by deploying passive cooling materials reflecting roofing, deployed at scale district cooling systems for dense urban zones, cheaper, more efficient AC calibrated for the peculiarities of Indian grid. The problem cannot be solved by importing solutions designed for temperate, wealthy economies of global north. Our heat is wetter, longer, and more humid than the dry European summers that produced much of the existing cooling literature. Most Indians cannot afford the energy bills that the Western style mechanical cooling implicitly assumes, as the grid in India, even on best days, can supply at most 60% of the installed capacity. There's no quick fix on offer, but to keep printing heat action plans while indoor temperature climb is no longer a serious answer. It is theater. vocab कर लेते हैं आज की. द फर्स्ट वर्ड इज एग्जाम. एग्जाम मतलब होता है कुछ ऐसा मुहावरा जो सच माना जाए. अ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्रपोजिशन व्हिच इज रिगार्डेड एज बीइंग एस्टैब्लिश्ड, एक्सेप्टेड और सेल्फ एविडेंटली ट्रू. It is widely held axiom that governments should not negotiate with terrorists. Accepted truth, general truth, or a dictum. Then the next word is rendezvous. This is not pronounced as rendezvous. It is pronounced as rendezvous and basically means two people meeting at an agreed time and place. Appointment, assignation, or a date. He met a rendezvous with her in Times Square. The last word is lambent. Lambent मतलब ऐसे हल्की हल्की light flicker करना with soft radiance, beaming, luminous, glowing. The lambent flames from a campfire cast a comforting glow. So that is lambent, rendezvous, and exile. With that, we come to the end of today's discussion, but not to the end of our बातचीत because we are moving to another strategy session. जल्दी से दूसरी वाली स्ट्रीम ज्वाइन कर लो. स्टार्ट करो मैं वो स्ट्रीम इन 1 minute. ठीक है, आ जाओ सारे लोग वहीं पे. फिर करते हैं बातचीत आपके मॉक्स की एंड एलेट की. ठीक है, चलो लेट्स गो.